Hey, welcome back to Emissaries from the Void.
I'm Ari,
And I'm Tristan.
and we are living in hell.
But where are we?
Oh, well, the movie says
Where might we
Michigan,
be?
but, I guess we're all in Ohio right now.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about...
We live in the void liminal plane called Ohio.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about a short film called Possibly in Michigan.
Which was filmed in Ohio.
Yes. And it's free on YouTube.
It is. It's only like 12 minutes. Watch it. I don't even know where to begin.
Possibly in Michigan is
I guess we could begin possibly in Michigan.
It's a feminist dark comedy musical shot on video.
Okay. Yeah. I was like thinking about what you just said, and I agree. That's a good classification for it. Although musical in a very postmodern sense of that word.
Yeah. It reminded me a lot of Laurie Anderson, who uses a lot of the same vocal distortions in her work. And her debut album came out 1 year prior to this. It also put me in mind of Inland Empire quite a bit. Very thematically dovetails nicely. It would make for like a good like opener to then screen Inland Empire after.
Oh yeah, like like everyone's getting in their seats. We're gonna play this to get everyone in the right headspace. I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
In Inland Empire definitely focuses more on the themes of autonomy, whereas this one I feel focuses more on how we use each other and how we exploit each other for our own appetites. Like the man is pursuing them for his appetites, but then the women in this literally eat him.
Yes.
So, it's just like how we might be thinking that we're using people, but they're also using us. And it's possible for both of you to use each other.
Interesting. Yeah. And it's all kind of taking place in this soup of violence undertones.
Yeah. Like the movie the short film cuts between imagery of like a building being destroyed and like mummies, like actual footage of mummies overlaid over the actress, or like there's a shot where she's laying down with all these flowers, like it's a funeral. Like when someone dies and we're putting a bunch of flowers around their body because we're gonna parade them.
Yeah, it's almost like she sees her death as her destiny, which
and beautiful.
Is stupid to say because that's all of our destiny, but
well, she sees it as this like beautiful thing to aspire to. She almost like wants to have a beautiful death. And so like, okay, let's just kind of break it down the plot. They start in a mall.
Yes.
They are perfume shopping.
Yes. Two women
start in a mall, and they're pursued by a masked man, and they're like aware of the man, like and the narrator. So this film has a narrator, and the narrator comes in and says some really cryptic shit a couple of times. And to start off, the narrator's voice says that these two women are best friends, and they have so much in common. They both love violence and perfume.
Did it say they love violence? I think
they both are. They said they both are. They both have a desire for violence and they love perfume. And before that, it says basically that they like to make men think the violence is their idea, is what it said.
Okay.
So they know that this guy is pursuing them, and it's almost like you think that the guy is the predator, and he is, but they are doing it on purpose because they are really the predators in this situation. They are both the lure and the trap that they are setting for this stalker. And the narrator chimes in later and will say that the stalker has been wearing masks for so long that he doesn't even remember who he is anymore. And he wants the smell of sex that reminds him of home, which...
Yeah, that's why he's into perfume.
Yes.
Which I took, like, setting aside the home part for a second, I took that to be maybe a commentary on the, like, the way that sex and beauty is commercialized.
I see. Okay. Yeah. I could get that. I could get behind that, especially because there is a huge slant of commercialism to this whole thing. Like, it starts in a mall and we get lots and lots and lots of images of, like, close-ups of the mannequins in the windows, and the two main girls are perfume shopping and they're talking about how much they like perfume, and they go on a whole rant about how this perfume smells so good. It reminds me of my crazy aunt who put a poodle in a microwave.
Yeah.
Which...
Yeah. So they seem to be aware of him, like, off and on.
Well, he gestures like about what they're saying, and he like reacts to their perfume shopping, and he's engaged with what they're doing.
Yeah.
But like, she knows that she's being pursued because she kind of looks behind her, and then we get that rant that she has to herself about how she's keeps falling in love with men, and we get a cut of her like kissing all of these different masks. And then I read that as, because when we get the scene with the stalker afterwards, who's called Prince Charming in the credits, he
and also Arthur.
Yes. He's like, we see him cutting with all these different masks, and they're the same masks that we saw in that cutaway. So it's almost like this one guy has been pursuing this girl for so long, and then he's finally taking off his mask, and he thinks that if with his real face, or what he thinks is his real face, if he kisses her, then she will fall in love with him. But she doesn't. She liked the masked people. She wants that. And then he says, like, you know, you have a choice. Either I kill you and eat you now, or I'll cut off your arms and legs and eat them slowly.
Yeah.
And she's like, why would you do that? And he says, because I love you.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, but why would you do that? And he's like, because I love you. And she says, well, love shouldn't cost an arm and a leg. And then in the struggle, she kills him and eats him.
Yeah.
How do you parse that?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, I mean, I think there's something to be said about, like, long-term relationships and their capacity to, like, slowly destroy the partners. That, you know, it's a type of love that is very commercialized in the Western world and promoted as, you know, we spend a lot of time venerating what is essentially codependence as love. And I think people have just accepted a lot of unhealthy relationships because of that.
Yeah, like, self-sacrifice is equated to love in at least the culture that we're part of.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, the willingness to literally give your arms and legs for the love of someone else. And then, like, also the idea of seeing women as meat to be consumed. Like, you know, I'll eat you now or I'll eat you slowly. It's like, okay, so either I will destroy you with my love quickly, or I will destroy you slowly over the course of a painful relationship.
Yeah.
Also, the idea of, like, loving someone so much you'll eat them is kind of a thing, you know, as made famous in Where the Wild Things Are. We love you so much we'll eat you whole. And, you know, also echoed in the Alt-J song Breeze Blocks, you know, the idea. And that song, Breeze Blocks, is about loving someone so much you drown them in a tub with breeze blocks, which are cinder blocks in Australian slang.
Gotcha.
So, like, it's the same. It's a very like thematically overlap. Like the fact that they use that quote specifically, and it's in other media that relates to the same idea. And I don't know where it's from. I just know it from those two things.
Yeah.
You know, I love you so, I'll eat you whole. I love you so, I love you so. Like,
that reminds me of another thing, and this is kind of third hand, but there was
a third arm has now sprouted out of Tristan's chest.
I remember someone talking about like watching or reading or listening to somebody talk about research done on cannibalistic tribes in, I don't remember where. And what they found was that they did eat people, but it was a ritual after they died. And nobody liked it. It was a chore that they had to do, like to consume their loved ones and like pass them through.
Right.
So,
like, I mean, different kinds of cannibalism for different reasons. I mean,
well, sure.
There's that ritual, because I know what you're I think I vaguely know what you're referring to. Yeah. It's the idea of like the person, when they die, you eat them so that they can be freed, basically. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, but then there's also the idea of like eating your enemies to consume their power. That's come up a couple of times as well.
Yeah.
And so I kind of, when I was watching this, probably in Michigan, mm-hmm. It was like I was reading when the girls eat Prince Charming, it was like they're absorbing his essence, and then they discard his remnants into the trash. They literally throw him away. Like they used him up, because the movie starts with us being told that these two girls love to do this, and then they do it, and then once they've had their fun, they discard him. But while they're eating him, there's another masked man that's outside that they gave some wine to. Like she gives a cup of wine, puts it on the doorway so he can grab, or the windowsill so he can grab it, and then he disappears, and then they're smoking, and he's just kind of sitting there, and it's like, oh, okay, the cycle's going to start all over again. And also they look really bored after they're done. Like they finished it, and then they're bored, which, now that you bring up your interpretation of it, like when it comes to that, it's almost like it is a chore to eat somebody. Like human beings have a lot of meat on them. It is a chore to eat somebody unless you are, you know what I mean? Like hashtag not supporting or, you know, condoning cannibalism. But like if you were going to eat somebody, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like I don't eat meat anymore, but back when I did, you know, like every year my family would buy, like go in with their neighbors and buy a quarter of a cow. Do you realize how much meat a quarter of a fucking cow is? It's so much meat. Like their freezer would be overfilled, and I would just get like a little bit, and it would like fill this freezer over here. Like, you know, and I don't partake in that anymore, but still it's crazy to think about, like, you know, we're going to go in, a cow is like $2,000 or whatever. And we're going to go in and take a quarter of it. So that's $500 a person, and it fills your freezer for like the whole year worth of meat.
Yeah.
So the fact that we've like now doubled down on it being cannibalism as a chore. What else did you really kind of get from this? Because, like, okay, so we've got the obvious surface of the cannibalism, but it seems more of like the idea of love as consumptive.
Yeah. The lyrics that repeat in the short film are, I bite the hand that feeds, I slap the face that eats me. And I think she also, when she's talking about like, oh, why do I attract these weirdos? Remember when I kissed that guy who like ate his woman or something? Like it's pervasive in the short film.
Like everybody in this film is a fucking predator.
Mm-hmm.
Like the girls love the thrill of the pursuit, and they love, like I get the impression they've done this before, because like after they're done eating, like because they eat them, and then after they're done eating them, they're like tossing the bones away, and they're like oh, they look so put out by this chore that they have to do now. They're like, oh, now we got to clean up the body, and like it's like this is something they have done before. This is not the reaction of people who in the heat of the moment killed someone and stuff. Like this is the reaction of people who this has become a rote exercise. And like, what do you think of her friend out like shooting?
I was just about to ask you the same thing. Yeah, she shoots the masked man, Arthur, kind of intercut at the same time that the other woman is
being assaulted by him.
Yeah. And it definitely, that was one of the things that reminded me a lot of Inland Empire.
Like you can't shoot this thing.
Like
the only way to like beat the toxic masculinity is to consume them. It's like toxic femininity versus toxic masculinity. No, it's because like seriously, like toxic femininity, a lot of that is about how you present yourself, and it's about like being a girl who likes shopping and makeup and perfume and performing, and the perfume is a performance. If you put perfume on, you're presenting a certain aesthetic externally. Now, you can wear perfume for yourself. I mean, I personally wear perfume sometimes, but like the idea that, you know, we got to be obsessed with the smell of things, and that men are obsessed with the smell of things. Like there's so much about how women are expected to present themselves in social settings. You know, men don't want the smell of what a woman actually smells like. They want this perfume that they have on. You know, women don't have, you know, green or purple eyelids, but they wear makeup all the time. And women without makeup is treated with so much social stigma in certain groups.
Right.
And so of course, the toxic feminine aspect of it is to reinforce that gender binary from that side, while men with their toxic masculinity prop up their own gender reinforcement from their side. And it's like they consume each other. Like men see women as meat to consume, and women see men as meat to consume when they are succumbed to these toxic ideologies. Like they use the man, they have no further use for him, so they discard him. They literally threw him in the garbage. Whereas, and he was going to, you know, kill and overpower her in the same way. Men who eat their women are just men who see women as objects to fuck.
Right.
You know, we are art that you can fuck. That's...
For a second, I thought you were pitching a new slogan for the show.
No. It's a line from a song called "The Doll People," which is also.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh my God. I could talk about music all day, about just angry feminist music.
Yeah.
Just music with notes about how men treat women and how women treat women.
Yeah. So to conclude, highly recommend watching this. Again, only 12 minutes, free on YouTube.
Yeah, especially if you're like, you know, if you are part of the audience who watched Active Volcano last time we recommended it, this is very much cut from the same cloth as Active Volcano. Its plot is a little bit more coherent than Active Volcano, but it's still like the same kind of vibe. There's a lot of
straightforward, but still
it's more primitive in the effects work because it's from the fucking 80s.
Right.
But like it's got the same kind of like overexposure, over bloom. It's got the same kind of overlaid effects on other effects, like, you know, the mummy footage on top of the actress, that kind of stuff. So, you know, honestly, we should start making a new list of things that are in this vein, because this is a very me kind of aesthetic. I don't know about you, but I liked this a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I'm actually
Active Volcano and this are going to be the first two on the list, but we should start compiling a list of I don't know what to call, like weird chord drift or something, like, because when I say drift, I mean like it's like shots seem to bleed into each other with this aesthetic.
Yeah, that's true. I'm on Letterboxd, and I'm actually shocked that Carolyn Kopko has not logged this movie.
Oh,
because it seems like such her aesthetic.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Very much, because I would have said this would have been an inspiration for her
right,
work.
Yeah.
Well,
so before we close out, I wanted to talk just briefly about Dave Made a Maze, because that's the last episode that came out. And while editing it, I had the thought, we talked a lot about the Minotaur being Dave's shadow self and this kind of creative drive maybe that yearns to be free. And it made me think this time around that, there can be a lot of like self-resentment when you don't finish projects, I think. I think that would definitely be a factor in my personal Minotaur, would be like this kind of anger that I've let myself down over time.
Fat mood right there.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I mean, like, when I was 17 years old, I sat down and tried to write my first novel, and I got 80 pages into it, and then I gave up because I got super in my own head, and I was not properly equipped with the level of like management skills for my self-esteem issues that I have now. And then but by the time I got better, I had lost all the momentum, and now it's like I'm trying again, but totally understandable, like half-finished projects just like littering your life.
And of course, that's an ADHD thing.
Yay!
And it's not something that you should like beat yourself up about.
No, but it's gonna be there, right? It's our Minotaur, right?
Yeah. There's definitely something to be said for finishing a project, even if A, you're no longer as interested in it, or B, it's not coming out as perfect as you imagined it.
Right. Just do it. Like, Dan Olson, Folding Ideas on YouTube. He has this thing. I don't remember what video he talked about it in, but I watched one of his videos where he talked about how one of his favorite things on his desk is this doll that he made in 24 hours. He gave himself 24 hours to like make it. And he went and talked about how like we're really good at starting projects, but we don't really build the skill to finish projects. And so by challenging yourself to do something in 24 hours, it's a great way to start teaching yourself to just let go and finish a project. Which is really helpful. And that's really helped me, because I've done like lots of like I give myself 24 or 48 hours to do a thing. And then I do it, and then it's done, and it's like, okay, I finished the project. And like, God, like I still sleep on this thing every night that I made. The last time I did one of those was when I made this pillowcase. I was like, I'm going to do it today. And we did it. Right.
There's also a study. It was like a college art class. I think it was pottery, that was divided into two groups. And one of them was going to be graded on the quality of one piece. Like they had the entire semester to like create this one perfect vase or whatever. And the other half was judged solely on the quantity that they produced. And what was found was that at the end of the semester, the people who were being judged by quantity were producing better work than the people who just like focused on perfecting one piece. The repetition is so important to artistic, just like the craft, I guess. And this is a lesson that has taken me way too long to learn. And it's definitely something that I struggle with, because I hate practicing.
Well, yeah, well, of course, because with ADHD, we want to be good at it, or we feel like we're failures.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that like I've personally struggled with on this vein is like my ADHD has caused me to constantly change projects. Like I can't help it. I get inspired, and then I'm like, okay, so like for me, as a person who runs tabletop RPGs once a week, right? I have like a notebook with just ideas for campaigns.
Yeah.
And this turned into a notebook with different world settings. And so I've got my fantasy setting, which is called ephemeral. I've got my sci-fi setting, which I call liminal. Hashtag not our liminal episodes. And then, but like at this point though, I've got like 20 other fucking settings.
Yeah.
In my idea, and I'm like, I've got so many ideas for stories to write in these different settings, and I'm sitting over here and I'm like struggling to finish my novel for one of them.
Yeah.
Now granted, I've been very resolute and I have been world building it and I have been doing work every day. I do not allow myself to rest unless I have done something on my project every day.
Yeah.
But God, is it not so difficult? Because my temptation is I want to jump from project to project to project. But when you're writing something like a novel or even a short story, there's so much work that goes into it that I don't want to accidentally get wrapped up into something else and then forget about what I started on, because then nothing will ever get done.
Yeah.
So the idea of like, oh, well, you actually got to embrace that and just make things is hard, because I don't want to do that, because then I'm afraid that I'm never going to actually finish anything, because then I'll just keep getting pulled into one task or another task.
Yeah. Yeah.
But simultaneously, there's also the advice of just follow the dopamine. Just like let yourself follow where you need to go, because if you do, then you'll gain a bunch of skills, and then you'll look back and you can just suddenly do all this stuff. And because of our ADHD, we won't even remember all the things that we did to get to that point.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I am. The problem is that my portfolio is so like scattered that it's difficult to convince people to hire me. But
we are outsider artists. At the end of the day, we've self-taught ourselves half of what we know, and the other half has been gained through just life happening to us.
Yeah.
And but that makes what we make more meaningful to us, because when you take a photo and you think it looks nice and you hang it up in your house, or you make one of your collages, or I write a poem, or I whatever, it's because we really, for the love of the craft, and I think that there's something to say about that, is that when we can overcome our mental limitations, we do make beautiful work.
Yeah. All right. That's all.
Yep. Everybody is invited to my cardboard fort. We're going to start constructing it in the living room right now. I promise my Minotaur is going to be a lot nicer than Dave's. And
but just as hot.
We are going to be constructing it probably in Michigan.
Possibly.
Probably.